Okay, good afternoon, everyone. This is Manish from Esri, Singapore, and I work as a user engagement lead. And welcome everyone for the GIS Conversation webinar series. Today we are going to talk about the next generation of GIS, what's new in ArcGIS. So we have Sharon and Vishen. Sharon is a senior solution consultant with Esri, Singapore, and she manages different projects with key stakeholders, and she has abundance of experience in terms of implementing system architecture and carries 14 years of industry experience predominantly in GIS. Vishen works with Esri Singapore as solution consultant, and she carries different domain knowledge on utilities, and she has done different enterprise GIS implementations with key stakeholders. So what is GIS Conversations is a program which helps to combine innovations, user engagement, and strengthens the brand and partnerships. So with this program, what we have, the format of the programs is we have different webinars and meetups. So it's held every alternate month. So this month we are running a webinar, and with the following month there will be a meetup. So the current one that we are running today is the next generation of GIS, what's new in ArcGIS. This table shows you the next upcoming webinars and the meetups that we have in the pipeline. So if you are interested to know more about the upcoming events, you can visit this page on srisingapore.com.sg and go under GIS Conversation Series, which actually has the detail for the webinars and the meetups. And you can even go and register for that particular upcoming event. So before we go into the detail, at the end of the webinar, we'll have a survey link. We'd appreciate if you can provide your feedback in terms of how we can improve this webinars, or how we can, if there's any specific thing that you would like us to include during the webinars. So without any further ado, I'll hand over to Sharon and Vishen for their presentation.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for taking the time to call in for this webinar. So today we are going to touch a little bit about what's new in the ArcGIS platform. So this is a repeat of what we have done in UC. So I think many of you probably missed the session. So I'll be touching on LocateXT, while Wei Xian will be doing more on Enterprise Site and showing you more details of how to actually create your own site. So I will start off with the LocateXT. So for those of you who don't know what this is actually a new extension that can be added on to your ArcGIS desktop. Okay, so before I jump into the tool, just a little background about why this tool. So we all know that ArcGIS can take in many different data formats. We can take in 3D data, vector data, raster data, LiDAR, and real-time data as well. So one of the areas that, one of the types of data that we are still unable to take in until now is unstructured data. So what is unstructured data? It's essentially data that you find in your Word documents, in your text files, or even in Excel spreadsheets. So this data is unstructured because there's no way of being able to put them in a certain format that ArcGIS is able to take in. So a lot of this information is actually all trapped inside this kind of documents, even PDF files, as you can see as an example on this screen. So analysts usually spend a lot of time trying to sieve out all this information from the documents in order to bring them into the ArcGIS platform. Another problem, another unstructured data problem can also lie in an Excel file that may seem structured, but it's actually semi-structured. So if you take a look at what we have on the screen here, I do have a column that stores all the coordinates, but the coordinates are all in different formats. So if I were to just bring this file into ArcGIS as is, maybe some of them will get geocoded, but not all. So the analysts still have to spend a lot of time to convert these into a format that, into the same format, so that ArcGIS is able to bring them in. And so it leads to a lot of manual work and a lot of time spent in doing this data processing and data cleansing. So another related problem with unstructured data is that when you want to search for features within the unstructured data, it is difficult because the way the text is being stored may not be how you have known how to spell it. So one very good example is if you want to look for Jalan Toa Payoh, you do not know whether you should key in the full word Jalan, Jalan, or key in the short form JLN. So that is one very that's one very common search problem that we all face when we are looking for addresses. Okay, so LocateXT, the technology comes in to extend the platform to work with this unstructured data. It can take in multiple formats. It can take in your PDF documents, your Excel files, your text documents, and bring the location information that is stored inside these documents into ArcGIS as a feature. So the technology has a few components. It has a desktop component that can run as a standalone desktop app, or it can be an ArcMap extension. So currently it's still an extension in ArcMap, but in the latest version of ArcGIS Pro, which is Pro 2.3, it will also be available. It is also available as a server-enabled GP tool, so you can actually publish a geoprocessing service and consume it in a web application. And for the find the attribute search problem, there is also another ArcMap extension called FindFZ. Okay, so now I'll show you a quick demo on this new extension. Okay, so here I have my ArcMap, and you'll see that I have two extra menus that most of you would not have if you do not have the extension. So there's the LocateXT menu and the FindFZ menu. Okay, so over here, I would have a set of files where there are location information stored inside. So let's take a look at this document file. This Word document, which actually stores lat-long locations as a text within the document. Now, this document is actually 93 pages long. So if someone were to have to read through this document and to pick up all this information, it's not only time-consuming, but it is also prone to user errors because you might miss certain pages that would have stored this location information. So now I'm going to show you how LocateXT can be used to simplify the process. Okay, so there's this tool called Unstructured Document Scan. Okay, and all I need to do is to drag this file onto this user interface here and give it a feature class name. Okay, and I click Scan. It will point me to where I want to store my information. Okay, so you see straight away I get all the points located on my map. And if I open the attribute table, you will see that this is how my data will be stored. You will have the name of the Word document that the data came from. It would also show me the it will also show me some text that is. It will also show me what is it that it has extracted. Okay, so you see here, these are the location information that is being extracted and the type. So this is the type of coordinate, the type of coordinate that is being stored in. It will also show you the post text, which is the text that comes after the location, and the pre-text, which is the text that is the words that are found before the location. So you can see that in a very short time, I'm able to bring in all these locations from my Word document into my map. So I'm just going to change some settings on my LocateXT first. Okay, so it can also take in not only a single file, but I can put in a whole folder of files. Okay, so you see here, I have a whole folder of Word documents, and within each of these Word documents, there are location information. So all I need to do is to drag this whole folder here, okay, and I give it a different name. So it will geocode every single location that is found in this folder over here. And if you look at this, in this data that is being extracted here, these are all the coordinates that are being extracted from this document. And you can see that this coordinate is actually different from the coordinate that I extracted earlier on in the document. So this is in MGRS format, while earlier it was in DMS format. So the tool is actually able to take in thousands of different kinds of formats of coordinates, not just in certain a fixed set of coordinates. So it can take in many different formats. And so if you want to pick up other kinds of formats that is not found within the tool, there's also a way that the tool is able to allow you to configure to pick out these location information from the document. So say, for example, you want to look for city names, or you want to look for shopping center names. You can also do that using the options here. If you look here, we call it a Gazetteer file. And if you take a look at this file, what it has is a list of city names. And the city names are all tied to a set of coordinates. So each city name will be geocoded with this lat long coordinate. So this could be city names, this could be country names, it could be shopping center names, or it could be condominium names. So it's up to you to configure this list and to use it in your geocoding. So once I enable this, and I rerun, so you'll see that my original file that I ran earlier had 128 records. The new one that I run has 512 records because each of these locations is actually tied to a city. So you'll see the extracted type includes the MGRS coordinate and also the city name. So this allows you to be able to search other kinds of keywords. Another configuration that you can put in is if you would like to look for certain keywords within the document, and if those keywords are near to a location, you would want to pick that location out. So these are a sample list of keywords that I want to look for. So it can be other kinds of keywords depending on the type of data that you're trying to bring in. So this is my current list. Okay, and then I rerun the tool. Okay, so if I take a look at this data, I will find that there's 512 records, and these are the keywords that are located within the document. Okay, so this particular location here is related to this keyword that I was looking for. Okay, so the LocateXT platform is not only usable inside your ArcMap, but it's also usable inside ArcGIS Earth. Okay, so here, if I have a PDF file that I would like to scan, all I need to do is I can look for the Clear Terra menu. Okay, so what this does is it actually looks through the file for all the location information. It launches your ArcGIS Earth, and it plots the points on the ArcGIS Earth. Okay, so you can see here, these pins are the points that are being located from within the document. Okay, so this PDF document actually looks something like that, where there are lat long coordinates related to a state park. Okay, so I will show a demo on the attribute search issue that we talked about earlier as well. Okay, so here we have a map of cell towers within US. Okay, so for example, I want to look for a particular cell tower, but I'm not sure how to spell it. I just heard the name, and I think this is how I spell it. I want to search for Malu Ridge. Okay, so here I am in the find tool. This is the traditional ArcMap find tool. And if I try to find it, I find that I'm not able to find anything. Probably because of the way it's being stored in the data. So the normal human behavior is that you try and reduce the number of words that you're looking for and see if you can find it. So I took away the second word, but I'm still not able to find it. And once I remove to look for just MAR, I find that there are actually 1,879 records found. So it's going to take me time to look through the whole list to see which is the one that I'm looking for. So you'll see here that there is another tab here called Find FZ. So this appears after I install the software and I put in the extension in ArcMap. So here I key in the exact same search term and I click Find. You'll see that I still find nothing. Okay, but the key to this search is that there is a fuzzy level that I can set. Okay, so if I were to set the fuzzy level at 30%, you will find that I actually find this one record, which is the one that I'm looking for. Okay, so this really simplifies the way people can search for keywords within their data. So it gives it a sort of like a Google search kind of approach. Okay, so what we went through earlier is that we showed you a demo of how the data extension is used in ArcMap. It will also be available in ArcGIS Pro 2.3. It can also be published as a GP service to be used in your web apps. And we also shown how ArcGIS Earth is able to consume the data and make use of the tool. And so we'll move on to Enterprise Site.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. So what's Enterprise Sites? It is a built-in portal application included with ArcGIS Enterprise 10.6.1. The existing portal is powerful, but users would still need to go into portal, find their group, and browse their content from there. So the beauty of Enterprise Sites is that you can create beautiful branded web pages that provide tailored experiences. You will be able to tell your users what problem you are trying to solve, tell a cohesive story, and really make their discovery process easier. Although Enterprise Sites is new, the underlying component will still be your enterprise portal. So all your content remains where they are and secured. You do not need any additional licensing for sites, as it is there together with your portal. And you can create as many sites as you want, but make sure that your enterprise deployment is scalable. So these are some of the examples of sites incorporating the underlying data and maps from the groups in the portal. So what do you need before you can start creating your very own sites? You must have the base ArcGIS Enterprise deployment, meaning the data store, portal, and web adapters are all configured together. Before doing configurations of sites, it is strongly recommended that you enable HTTPS on your portal. This is because many web pages today expect HTTPS only, and in fact, in the next releases of ArcGIS Enterprise, this will be enabled by default on all new enterprise deployments. Next, I will show you how you can create your first site. But before that, I'll take you through what exactly is an enterprise site. Okay, so what I have here is our portal. So basically, normally when the users log in, they will go to their groups, and then they will see what is there in the group, like data owned by me and all those. But with enterprise sites, they can actually launch their site from the homepage itself. So this is an example of the enterprise sites that I've created. It's on public safety, citizens of patrol. So you see that the experience that the users will have is very different from the existing portal, where you can embed your statistics, your mission, what your portal data is all about. You can embed your web map and categorize your data. Because normally when users come into your portal, they don't know what they don't know. So by having categories, when they log in, they'll probably say, what I'm looking for is probably related to health, and then they can click health, and all those content that is related to health will be displayed. So even if there's no item found, they have the option to browse all the content in the portal. So So you can see that if I have a web map embedded, web map in my portal, they can just directly click on the web map, and then you can see the web map with all the information and all those things about the web map. If it's a feature point, you'll be able to see all the attributes of the feature, as well as create a web map directly from the search result. So this will actually reduce the learning curve of the user, so they can just customize and create their very own web map just by clicking from what they search. Next, I will show you how actually you can start creating your very own first enterprise site. To set up the site application, first of all, when you have the portal installed, you will need an administrator to be the first person to launch the sites using the icon in the app launcher. This will configure the sites for use for the other administrator or users that is going to create their own sites. Okay, so you can launch enterprise sites by clicking on the app. Then this is the site manager page where you can see all the sites that I have created within my portal. Okay. In order to create a new site, you can just click on the new site. And then you need to provide the site name. This will appear as the header in the web browser. And then this is the site name to identify your site. So for today, I will be creating a site for the elder care. And then I'll give the site URL. You'll notice that the string that I entered is appended to the end of the URL of the portal. Next, I'll set the default extent. So when you look at the maps at the search result page, this will show you the default extent of the map. By default, it uses your organization's portal default extent. So if you want to override it, partly maybe your organization is divided regionally, you can just draw an extent and the search and the map displayed in the search page will be displayed accordingly. Similarly, you can choose these. You can change the base map. If not, you will be using the default base map. By clicking next, you will create an enterprise application in your portal. So next is the groups manager. If there's a lot of content in your portal, it is good to query data that is relevant and find the group that matches the right content. So over here on the left, the available groups show all the available groups that is configured in your portal. So when you click, you'll be able to see what are the feature services that is accessible by this group of users. Okay. So I will add the senior watch because my site will be catered for the elderly. You can add as many groups as you want, and then you can remove them later. Okay, so this is the default web page that the enterprise, when you create, this is the default setting that you will have when you create a new site. So what is good about this is it's out of the box template, and then you can see how each of the elements is being configured and how they are constructed. So if you really want to do something that is similar, you can just copy and change them if you like. So one of the questions that we normally have is that are these enterprise sites mobile responsive? So the answer is yes, they are mobile responsive. So if you have a preview of the site and you change the size of the page, it actually resize accordingly to your screen size. So it's mobile responsive. Okay. So the customization of the site is broken up into 5 sections. You can see the site info, the header settings, the theme builder, where you set the colors, the layout of the site. I'll be going through a few widgets or cards, as they call it in enterprise sites later, and then the footer settings. So first of all, the enterprise sites will come with a simple header with your with a sign in. So if you actually log into your portal, it will display your sign in. So if you are interested in customizing the header, you can choose the custom HTML or CSS, where it actually allows you to configure your own header. So this is particularly useful if you want to create your own navigation bar. So, but for us, we'll just use the simple one, simple with header with the login. Next is the header. Next is the theme builder. You can change any of the colors, the theme of your enterprise sites. For example, if I change the header color to black and I apply changes, you can see that the header color is changed instantly. But you need to click the apply changes before you actually see the change happening. Okay, so this will actually set all the color scheme for the enterprise site. Be careful when you change the color because it will affect all the sub pages, including the search result page, as well as the item detail page. Next, I'll move on to the theme builder. As you have noticed, the enterprise site is made up of a series of rows. So the most important cut is the row cut. They can just drag and drop any of the cut. So the first building element of your site will be the row cut, because you can't put anything on the site if you don't have any rows. So always start with an empty row. And on the site, we'll always have three controls. One is the anchor point. So you can move your row anywhere, and then you will see there's an anchor point appearing. So if you are moving something that is into an empty row, you actually show a landing point in the row. So you can actually build your site from scratch by deleting all the rows, or you can just use the existing out-of-the-box template. So if the row is the most important cut in enterprise sites, then the most powerful cut will be the text cut. So you see, as I drag a new cut onto a row, the row is split into half, and then you will have these two arrows between the cuts appearing. And then you can move up to 12 positions left and right, according to what you have in plan. So what is so powerful about the text cut is that it allows you to insert HTML or markdowns. So this is a simple HTML. So I'm going to key in some markdowns, like the link 1, link 2. So it will be good if you are familiar with markdowns. Markdowns are just shorthands for HTML. And then you'll see that the header and the links are displayed and the bullet points are displayed accordingly. You can also add in HTML tag. And then the HTML tag will appear as it is. So as I mentioned previously, if you are interested in one of the out-of-the-box template and you would like to copy, you can actually use the gear icon control, and then you can just copy a snippet of the code and paste it in the text card. Next is the banner cut. So this is the banner cut. So when you click the gear, you will be able to change the properties of the cut. So for example, as I said, this enterprise site is for the elderly, so it's the elder care. I'll change the headline, and then you can change the subtitle as well. And then if you want, you can change the background image. So I have with me a cheat sheet. So I'll just copy the URL of my image, and then this is the banner setting. So you see that if I enter the image, right, it will only change the banner, but it doesn't change the row because the image is applied to the row. So actually you can put a blank, you can provide a plain color for your banner so that your header will actually stand out. So I'll just remove the image for the banner. Well, I'll change the background of the row. So you can actually replace the background image, the row, and then change the color of the row, as well as the text. So if you want to change the color of the row where you want to really emphasize certain parts of the content that you want your users to focus on. Next, you can add the category card. So like I say, the users don't know what they don't know. So by having a category card, you can categorize your data. So for example, I have this like parks or crimes related to elder. So I can use the tag query or a group. So if I use the group, it will be like senior watch. So I'll use the tag. So when the users actually click on the crimes category, it will display all the results that is with the tag, with the crimes tag. If you are not happy with the default icon, Enterprise Site actually provides a list of icons for you to choose, or you can actually customize your, change the color of the category icon. So if I change it to a red color, you can see that the category actually changes color. Similarly, you can provide your own image if you happen to have one. So you will change to the shirt. Next is the web map. So if you wish to embed a web map within your sites, you can do so. So you just need to create a map, give it the title. Then you click find a web map. It will display all the web maps that is available. So I'll choose the demographic. Then instantly the web map will be in the web page itself. So you can also insert charts or statistics. So you can put multiple statistics. For example, if you have a current goal and then you have a target goal, you can actually put multiple statistics and then align the statistics cards accordingly. So you can add data. For example, I'll have the crime cases rates. And then you can do simple maths. For example, count, minimum, maximum, and all the configurations for the statistics. So for example, I choose this. Now I'll choose sum of the crime rates. you'll see that the statistics is displayed accordingly. I'll change the title. So you can see that the title is changed, and then we have a statistics for the crime rate. Next is the iframe. So for iframe, you can embed any for example, if you have a very nice SharePoint dashboard, or you have a very nice website that you want to embed, you can provide this URL inside the iframe, and you will be displayed accordingly. So for now, I don't have anything in this iframe. Next is the gallery card. So gallery card is just a series of, it's just a bunch of cards, 4 each in a row. Well, the recommendation is to keep it at 4. So you have, you can customize it, like you have 16, but like I say, the recommendation is 4. So you can display the apps that you have inside your portal, data sites of sites. So for example, I have sites. So I can use the thumbnail. So you'll see that the cards actually changes. Display of the card actually changes. So what is interesting about this gallery card is that it respects the sharing of the users looking at it. So if I can see more items than you, then I'll have more tiles returning for the galleries. So you can preview your site anytime, and save changes, and preview your site. So currently, this is what I have, is a very raw enterprise site. So you can see all this, and then you can explore. So this is the Citizens of Petrol site, which I have shown earlier. So that's all I have for the demo. So I'll share with you the site best practices. So always use the theme to reflect your organization, something that people are familiar with, something they can relate to, and then consider how the site will be used. As I said previously, the enterprise site is mobile responsive. So if your users are mostly on devices, then there should not be too much widgets or cards to minimize scrolling. And then consider accessibility. Try to make your site as readable as possible. For example, you don't have white text on white background. And then prepare your portal content. So this is very important. You need to prepare your tag, your thumbnails, your descriptions, and summary, so that more information is being displayed on your site. And then lastly, sketch your site so that you have a plan. So for example, so that you have a plan. So these are the resources that you can have. You can view online. You have the YouTube videos as well, the ArcGIS resources. And then this is our training website. So we have the training for the enterprise sites. And then do you have any questions? So one of the questions that we have is that, is it possible to have custom widgets or cards to be used on the enterprise site? The answer for now is no, but ArcGIS actually provides a backdoor for you. You remember the iframe card that we have? Actually, it allows you to embed your site script, some of the JavaScript that maybe you have built from Web App Builder, and it just serves like a backdoor to everything customized.
Okay, so one of the questions that we got is that LocateXT looks fantastic, And the question is that whether it comes with ArcGIS Online or as an extension. So currently it is an extension with ArcMap. It will be an extension in the new version of ArcGIS Pro, which is 2.3. So right now it doesn't come with ArcGIS Online, although you should be able to publish a service on Enterprise and then maybe share it out with your ArcGIS Online. Then you can use it in ArcGIS Online.
So we have another question, like how to configure the URL as a public URL. So the recommendation for now is to use the Hub application, because that will be using the online data as well as the ArcGIS Online data. For now, the enterprise site on the portal is built, the back is supported by the enterprise portal hosted on site. So it's not public.
Okay, another question on LocateXT. The question is, can it be used to extract and geocode addresses in unstructured documents? I guess this means that these are address locations that are actually found inside the documents. Right now it supports lat-long coordinates in different formats. So if you want to have addresses, what you probably need to do is to configure it using the Gazetteer file. And you probably need to throw in all the different addresses that you have available in your address point, and then use that to geocode the addresses.
We saw the question, the layout builder. Do you mind media card? What can you explain on what do you mean by the media card? Okay, so for now, right, we do not have the media card. So this one we'll check and then we'll get back to you, because we have currently we don't have any information on whether they are going to have a media card for you to embed media. But you can always embed your media in a web page and then display it using the iframe card.
Another question on LocateXT is that whether it supports documents that are stored in content management server, file server, or DB server. Okay, if it's a file server, I think as long as you can connect to it as a file share, it should be possible. We will need to find out about whether it can access files in content management servers and DB servers. So we will get back to you. How do we?
We'll have the email addresses.
Okay, so yeah, we'll email you the answer.
Yeah, it will be inside. So I think that's all the time we have for the questions. But feel free to write to us if you have further questions, and we would appreciate if you can take some time to provide feedback for the webinar that we had. I understand it's a very short time and it's a lot of content to be covered. But if you have any further questions or you would like to find out more about any particular topic, you can write to us and we'll get back to you on this. So please take some time and make sure that you provide us your feedback. Okay, if you have any further queries related to any specific topics in the webinar, feel free to drop us an email. You can either drop an email to support@esrisingapore.com.sg, or you can even write down if you have a general feedback about the webinar, and you can write to me at mpatel@esrisingapore.com.sg. Or if you have any licensing or any further related queries for an account manager, feel free to write to connect@esrisingapore.com.sg. And we hope to see you with the next event. Thank you so much. Thanks, Sharon. Thanks, Vishen.
Thank you.